you actually be willing to invest in your partner to go into business with your partner that early on, I think is also a lot different from today's time where and this is just general speaking, just based on, let's say, the trends on social media, a lot of women are willing to go ahead and make them kind of moves, or like I made this post on Instagram one day and I said, my friend, you know, he buys houses and then his girlfriend puts up half to go investing with him. The comments going crazy, like, he's crazy. Like, why would she put up half the money? He need to cover that whole tab. So you are going against what, and like I said, this isn't for everybody, but a lot of the norms, people loving hip hop kind of things are making it seem like, yo, listen, he needs to cover all that. You were willing to, like, I put up the money. I cover all of that investment because I'm that serious.
That's my price. I want to learn. The knowledge he will never be able to take from me. So if I invest in, I'm receiving that knowledge that can't nobody strip me from. And I think that's the part people are missing out on. It's too much microwave, I need it done right now, versus let me learn the process. That part can't be stripped.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is on the internet right now is everybody that's teaching about relationships are single. So you got single
You notice
people,
that?
Single people professionally teaching single people.
Yeah.
So it's the internet. It's nothing real about it. If you have not successfully been in a relationship, in a relationship, not that all relationships go the distance. There are relationships that end, but you gotta have some skin in the game to really be able to speak from an expert perspective when it comes to relationships. And that's why the internet is so messed up, because it's unqualified people giving advice, giving information, and now people are taking that information for face value, and that's why now you got generations following generations that really don't know what the real deal looks like of building a relationship.
And my take on that is, it's just, you know how like broke people talk to broke people type of thing. It's just that it's easier to take advice from. I mean, you're going through the same problem I am, so let's talk about it.
Let's trauma bond together.
Right, exactly, and that's all that's happening. But to your point, and this is to all my entrepreneurs. You know, you have someone when they do not mind to sacrifice with you. But let me just explain sacrifice here. Sacrifice is the willingness to do something without understanding or knowing the return. I didn't know where that 10K was actually going to do for us. I didn't know. But what I did know is that in those conversations, I was learning already. I couldn't wait to get in the room. I couldn't wait to be part of that process. What else would I have learned from that? And that's what I was more excited about. Let me learn how to make my schedule more flexible here. And to those who's like, where did you get the 10K from? I got it through credit cards. You know, I was a college kid. So, you know, I'm Dominican. I was raised by a single parent. So the philosophy at home was get a good job, go to school, work for corporate America and do what you got to do and make it a better situation for yourself. Generational, what is it? Barriers to graduating and things like that. That was the ultimate goal. And that's what I did. So I had good credit. I graduated from college, graduated cum laude. And so in that process, let's not even talk about that. As a Dominican, I had no idea what cum laude was. Right? So even that, just God guiding you through the process. But I say all that to say that I was like this good girl that had no idea what risk-taking was. I wasn't familiar with that. And then here goes a man that he's all about risk-taking. And I'm sure he'll talk a little more about that. But that intrigued me. And that's another point, like, you have to trust what you're attracted to. I wasn't aware of why I was attracted to the fact that he was an entrepreneur. He had a flexible schedule. He liked taking risks. I never lived that life. But it was interesting to me, and I wanted more. So I was willing to invest. So I got the $10,000 from a credit card. You know, you sign off the checks. Back then we had checks. Sign off the checks, deposit it, get the money out. And that's where that money came from. And that was one of the first investments we did on a real estate property together in Germantown. And that was a story to tell.
For sure.
So she did a double risk. She took a risk into investing into what you have going on, not knowing the full dynamic just off of trust, but all the risks of putting on a credit card. That's a double risk.
For sure.
How does that make you feel, like, when you see that and then when you find out where she got the money from? Like, did that enhance your relationship or enhance how you felt about her?
1,000%. It's being in a position I was in at that time. It's hard to deal with someone that doesn't understand sacrifice for one, why you sacrifice, what the reward looks like, and also what the time looks like, right? I speak quite often about seed time and harvest. And for those of y'all can look it up, Google it. There's plenty of information out about it. But everything you do in terms of sacrifice, you're sacrificing the seed. You're going to plant that seed. You're going to give it time to reap the harvest from it, as long as it's watered and nurtured properly.
Yeah.
And that's a cycle that a lot of people, especially now in this generation, because everything is so microwave, they don't understand. They feel like, all right, if I do this, tomorrow I need the money back. Tomorrow the money should show back up. Tomorrow I should make 100% ROI on this.
Don't work like that.
It's not the reality. And so to know that this was years ago, that she was down for that, and it wasn't me asking her for it, I was like, all right, we got something here. I start, taking my notes, checking off everything on my list of what I knew it would take to have the right partner in my life. I know I've dealt with plenty of women in my life. I knew with the right woman would have to be.
We had to throw that in there.
No, we did. A lot.
It prepared me.
What I say earlier, they're going to level you out.
It's all good. You know what I'm saying? But that's something so necessary, to have a woman that understands sacrifice and willing to sacrifice with you.
I think let's land a little there. And from a perspective of a man, at that moment in 2007, I had no idea. I wasn't in the frame mind that I am sacrificing.
Yeah.
I'm in the frame mind that I'm trying to get it. I like what I feel here. I love the energy. Let's figure this out. We can do something here. Make something great. But I wasn't thinking power couple status. I wasn't thinking.
That's what I was just about to ask you.
There wasn't none of that. And I think that's the beautiful thing about being guided through what you're attracted to. If you truly are in your self being, right? And you truly are aware of your identity and who you're becoming, you'll realize that what you're being attracted to is taking you towards your destination or towards the journey you're supposed to be. Yeah, you allow it to drive you there. And that's what was happening without any explanation. Now we know. I mean, maybe 4 or 5 years in, we understood. I was sacrificing for the moment. This is something that he needed to see from a woman. And I think a lot of men and female, but I think a lot of people are in a position right now where they have that partner there, but it's not looking like how they think it's supposed to look. And then my question to you is, what looks like what you think is supposed to look? Anything in your life? Like, wait, is this what that's supposed to look like right now? I didn't envision it to be this way. And that's what happens in life when you're hitting your goals. So you may have a person that's like that. That person that's really going to drive you through your journey, through your goals, that's there with you, that's sacrificing with you. Maybe they're mouthy. They're a little disrespectful. Maybe they don't appreciate the hustle that you have. Maybe they don't understand sacrifice 100%. Maybe they feel like, you know what, this is too risk-taking. I'd rather more security, so they're not supporting you. Maybe the support doesn't look and sound like the way you think it should. Doesn't mean that's not what's happening. It just means you need seed, time, and harvest for it to mold into what it is supposed to grow into. But a lot of people miss that.
I think also